I need to understand what jurisdiction we're under.
Please.
Objection. Objection. Are we in a common law court? Yes or no? Case dismissed. Case dismissed because you refuse to rebuttal to the question regarding jurisdiction. You cannot proceed without honoring the jurisdiction.
April 26, 2023 will be set for an in-person bench trial in courtroom number 1.
Objection. I will not be showing up. Objection. I will not be showing up.
You won't believe what we've got today. This might just be one of the most outrageous sovereign citizen moments ever caught on camera. Seriously, I have no idea how the judge managed to keep their cool through all of this. If you're not familiar sovereign, citizens believe they can just bypass the law using so-called common law loopholes, which, spoiler alert, don't actually exist. The level of patience on display here deserves a medal, but it also raises a big question. How should society even handle these situations? Should there be a better way to deal with these legal antics? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you love content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are we under penalty and perjury?
Are we on what, ma'am?
Under penalty and perjury, if you're willing to swear in.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I can barely hear you.
I said, is everybody willing to swear in under penalty and perjury?
Ma'am, we're not taking testimony as of yet. Today is the day and time scheduled for the pre-hearing and adjourned arraignment pretrial in these matters.
It still has to be placed on a record. He still has to be put under penalty and perjury because he's swearing to an alleged crime against me and holding me accountable. So even though this is just a hearing, it still has to be put on notice for the public as well.
Ma'am, today is the day and time scheduled for the pre-hearing and the arraignment pretrial. Would you state your name for the record, please?
Benita Seeley.
Ms. Seeley, Mr. Battar is the court-appointed attorney assigned to this courtroom for the day. He's indicated that you don't wish to engage his services. Is that correct?
No, let me explain my position. I asked him a simple question about jurisdiction. That's why this hearing has been re-adjourned for today, because the last hearing, none of the attorneys could answer the question in regards to what jurisdiction that we're operating under. So they want to proceed without addressing the jurisdiction, which is a violation of due process. So in order for him to be represent me on any public record, I have to understand what jurisdiction he's operating on.
Pay close attention to this sovereign citizen's argument, because she's about to run it in circles, dodging the judge's questions over and over again. Honestly, huge respect to the judge for staying patient, because I don't know if I could at this point. It's almost impressive how committed she is to this nonsense. But let's be real, this is a courtroom, not a game of let's pretend the law doesn't exist. Judges ask questions for a reason, and refusing to answer doesn't make you look clever. It just makes you look guilty, clueless, or both. Alright, let's jump back in. And hey, what do you guys think about this situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
You do not wish to use the court-appointed attorney, and you confirm as much to the court right now. Mr. Battar can go back, ma'am. Mr. Battar can go back and do other things that he needs to do this morning. Do you wish to use Mr. Battar's services, or do you wish to represent yourself this morning, or do you wish to retain counsel through some other mechanism?
Under what charge, under which jurisdiction, and then who's bringing the charges against me?
Ma'am, there were citations issued against you in Huron Township for limited access speeding 11 to 15 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. That's a civil infraction. There's count 2, no proof of insurance. And there is the misdemeanor of driving while license not valid or improper license. Do you wish to use the services of the MIDC attorney, or do you wish to represent yourself this morning, or do you wish to retain counsel?
Who are the parties bringing this claim against me? It's a simple question.
I answered your question, ma'am. I answered your question, ma'am. I answered your question, ma'am.
And could you re-answer it? Because I didn't hear it. Who's bringing the charges against me?
The citation that was issued to you was issued by an officer from Huron Township, Freddie Yono. It's the citation that was issued is signed.
So it's
It
Freddie.
has his name and his ID number. Ma'am, my question to you is, do you wish to engage the services of the court-appointed attorney, or may I release him to go back to do some other work?
Wait a minute, I have questions before I can answer on. You're trying to get me to
No,
avoid questions
ma'am.
that you
No,
know.
ma'am.
Yes,
No,
it's a
ma'am.
due process violation. Objection. Yes,
Miss
because you're not
Seeley,
hearing me. This is a
Miss
hearing.
Seeley, this is the third and last time I'm asking you. Will you be using Mr. Batters to represent you this morning, or do you wish to retain your private attorney, or do you wish to represent yourself?
I need to understand what jurisdiction we're under.
Mr. Batar, you may return to your breakout rooms to meet with other potential clients. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I
Ms.
may.
Seeley, do you intend to represent, I'm sorry, Ms. Foley Carter.
I just want we started this case back in July. Ms. Seeley attended her first pretrial. She demanded that the case be dismissed. I declined. I asked that the case be set for a bench trial. Ms. Seeley objected, and Magistrate Hinman advised her to file a motion stating her objection. Since then, she asked Judge Green for her oath of office and then didn't appear for the court dates before Judge Oakley. So this case has been going on for quite some time with no resolution.
Because I'm asking a question and it requires a rebuttal and it's being ignored. You cannot violate the due process. This is a hearing, and any questions that I have.
So let me get this straight. She expects all of her questions to be answered, but somehow she doesn't have to answer the judges. Make it make sense. These sovereign citizens just keep outdoing themselves with nonsense. The judge is literally asking one of the simplest questions possible. Does she want an attorney or not? But you'd think she was being asked to solve the hardest math problem on the planet? To be fair, I'll give her this. At least she has a name. Some sovereign citizens go by things like a living person or flesh and blood human. Yeah, that's a real thing. So she gets one tiny point for that, but everything else, a complete train wreck. What do you guys think? Is she actually convinced by this stuff, or is she just putting on an act? Drop your thoughts in the comments. All right, let's...
Government and ignore the questions that the people have. Someone's bringing a claim against me, and my only question is, are we dealing in a commercial or a common law, also known as a record of law, court? That's simple. So are we in a common law court, yes or no?
Marianne, a in-person bench trial date in this matter, please.
Objection. Objection. Are we in a common law court, yes or no?
January
Case
23rd
dismissed.
at 11 o'clock.
Case dismissed. Case dismissed because you refuse to rebuttal to the question regarding jurisdiction. You cannot proceed without honoring the jurisdiction. You cannot be in
Ms.
the capacity
Seeley,
of a...
the misdemeanor matter and the 2 civil infractions that are traveling with it that were issued on April 26, 2023 will be set for an in-person bench trial in courtroom number 1.
Objection. I will not be showing up. Objection. I will not be showing up. You refuse to answer the question of jurisdiction. You're trying to get me into the courtroom so you can take me against my will and lock me up in a cage like an animal. Objection. You do not have jurisdiction over me. You do not have judicial authority in North America. You are working for a municipality called the state of Michigan. You have no jurisdiction. You are an attorney. You work for a corporation. You are in a municipal capacity. You have no authority. You call yourself government. Your position is a public servant.
Miss
I am the objection.
Miss Seeley,
no, you cannot proceed as an attorney. Objection. I will not be showing up in court. I will appeal this matter. Objection.
There is no question pending to you, ma'am. This
Objection.
court will be muting you at this time because the court has muted Ms. Seeley as her responses are not responsive to the matter that is before the court. This matter is being scheduled for trial. If Ms. Seeley wishes to absent herself from that trial, that is her absolute right. That trial date is January 23rd
I will not
at 11
be showing up.
That concludes.
Wow, that was intense. This sovereign citizen is about to find out once and for all whether the court has jurisdiction over her in her next trial, and spoiler alert, they probably do. Honestly, she should have been slapped with a contempt charge. Because let's be real, she's one of the rudest people I've ever seen in a courtroom. The patience this judge showed. Next level, huge shout out to her for keeping it together.